SCCRESA TV presents in 3, 2, 1, Dateline Schools with your host, Terry Harrington.
All this week on Dateline Schools, we're talking about truancy in schools and seeing what we can do to make sure our kids get to school each and every day so they have that opportunity to graduate. And to give us some insight, my special guest is St. Clair County Prosecutor Mike Wendling. And Mike, what can your office and what can our local court system do to help ensure our kids get to school every day?
Well, early on when kids start to miss school, we've developed programs with RESA and with the state, Department of Human Services and other professional partners in the system to try and target kids that are starting to miss school, get to those kids and offer services to them so that their parents can get them to school so that they can excel. Once they fall off that track, or if those initial preventative efforts don't work, we can involve Department of Human Services and file a petition for educational neglect and have the court stand in and require attendance and maybe provide the juvenile center is an educational resource for those kids that refuse to go to school. We can hold them at the juvenile center and then send them to school. We can also do things to focus in on the parents as parents and give them tools and counseling in order to help them fix whatever home environment might be causing their students non-attendance. And ultimately, if the parents refuse to cooperate and the probate court is not able to force cooperation through the tools that it has, we can file a criminal warrant for education or for truancy that holds a parent responsible if their 6 to 16-year-old does not attend school. And every parent has an obligation under state law to get their kid to school. And we've done that. In last year, we filed several criminal warrants, and there is situations where parents actually go to jail until they come to the epiphany that if their kids aren't in school, then there's going to be a penalty for that. Obviously, it's more difficult with high school students when parents have lost control of those kids, and we can use the juvenile center and other ways to force a kid to at least participate in the educational system. But elementary school kids that are not in school are a parent's responsibility, and we're holding them responsible for that.
Now, you also mentioned that last school year you did take a few parents to court and filed a petition. What did they tell you that why they're not getting their child to school?
Whole range of reasons, and often when they come into the court system, they have an excuse as to why their child isn't in school. Sometimes it starts with medical issues, and they claim medical issues, and we're understanding of kids that sometimes have those issues. However, we're requiring doctors' notes, and if a doctor is not willing to say that this kid can't go to school, then the kid's going to go to school. And often there may be socioeconomic issues like transportation or funding or school clothes or backpacks or supplies or those things. And there are a lot of resources through Community Foundation, through the St. Clair County RESA to provide those things for students to get them to school. So if we remove all the barriers that can be removed and all that's left is the kid just is not going to school, we'll hold the parent responsible. And if the parent is not the responsible party, then we'll hold the child responsible. But somebody is going to get this kid to school, because without an education, a kid has no chance.
Conversation continues tomorrow. For Dateline Schools, I'm Terry Harrington.